The Duke of Sussex was in the UK for 4 days last week when he undertook several engagements with causes very close to his heart. He said, "I have always loved the UK," and that he'd like to spend more time here and bring his young children over from America. Harry, as I'm sure you know, lives with his wife Meghan in California, and his children haven't seen their grandfather, the King, since 2022. So would you like to see Prince Harry in the UK much more often? Do you think it's exactly what the royal family needs, or do you think it's always a giant distraction? I'm going to start with you, Dom, because it's your first time here. What do you think?
Well, I got the audiobook of Spare and I listened to it. It's very, very interesting. And I'm a massive Prince Harry fan. However, I think if he wants to come back to the UK, I think he's nuttier than a squirrel's poo.
Why?
Because I don't think what he's done, he's escaped that establishment, and we've all seen what that's done to him. It's destroyed his mother, it's destroyed his life, it's almost destroyed his relationship with his wife. And I think he was really brave to get out of Dodge, go and make a new life for himself, and have probably a much better, much happier life than what he's going to have being back in the establishment. I love the fact he's trying to make amends with King Charles. I think that's very admirable. I slightly wonder, is there something in the background with the King that maybe Harry's now starting to worry about, the King's health, because there's obviously, there's all the stories about his cancer and things. And if he wants to come back, I would welcome it. I love Harry. I think he's a great, great character. But I think what he's got now is a million times better than what he's going to get back here.
Although, Jemma, lots of people wonder what he has got in Montecito because, we've seen the beautiful house and incredible gardens and the chicken coop we saw, didn't we? That featured very largely in the documentary. But what does he actually do all day? And do you think the last visit, and I think lots of people thought it was a huge success, actually. He was very successful here. Does that denote the fact that he feels at a loss over in Montecito, maybe boring?
It might well be that, you have sort of made that schlep over there, and then you're there, but you're missing your family, your roots, your home, and actually raising kids as well in America. I would say there's question marks around that. You've got gun violence and, all of that over there as well. So he might be really slightly, a bit of regret might be kicking in, but there's also, I'm going to be honest, a little bit of me that's a bit over their dramas and constantly hearing about it. I wish they'd gone over there and then just been there and just enjoyed themselves. And I think in a way then it would be easier to come back.
But Nicola, don't you think that our love for Prince Harry has endured ever since he was born? That little red-headed baby was so sweet, and going down those chutes at Alton Towers with his mum, and then that obviously tragic scenario of him following her coffin, and everybody thinking, my gosh, he's so young, this is awful. And wouldn't we just feel, oh good, you're back where we love you, where we know you, where you can be a prince of the realm again?
I'd love to see him back because, as you say, we do love him, and you're quite right. He's such a good character, and I think his character is good, and it's so, it's what we need for the royal family. Younger people love him. I think I really would like to see him back, and it's great that he's making amends with his father, and it would be great to have him back. And he does such good work. I think his work gets overshadowed by the drama, quite rightly, that you say with his wife. But having him back would be wonderful, I think, for the country.
On the other hand, of course, he didn't see his brother William. William didn't see him. They were meant to have been just 15 minutes away from each other when they were here. Does that give the impression, Dom, that if he did come back and that cordial relations weren't restored between the two brothers, it could be incredibly awkward? They could be treading on each other's toes all over the place.
It's definitely going to be awkward. That goes, it's obviously going to be very awkward. But the more they start mingling, even if it's slowly, catch a monkey, as they say, it would be a good thing for them to start doing. Eventually, the wounds will heal. Maybe not 100%, but eventually things might come round. But I ask myself the question, why does he want to come back? Has something gone wrong in America? Is something over there gone wrong? Or is it something over here might be going wrong? Because you don't suddenly decide after spending all those years over there and building a really nice lifestyle over there to suddenly start thinking, I want to come back. We all know that his wife is not going to be welcomed here. She's...
Oh, I'm not sure. You see, you wait till you hear some of our callers. Some of them would be absolutely delighted to see Meghan back.
Well, I would.
Well, you would. OK, let's see what everyone has to say. Let's go straight to Valerie in Surrey. Hi, Valerie. How do you feel about this? Would you be pleased to see Harry back?
No, not at all, under any circumstances. What he insulted the royal family. He spoke about the country as though, they lied, him and his wife, as far as I'm concerned. It wasn't just about that. It was to make money. They spoke to the whole world, telling the world what they thought of the royal family. Well, that's their thoughts. They live with them. And he should never come back. And as for her coming here, my God.
Are you not being awfully harsh, Valerie? Because when you think about it, we've discussed it on this show before. I mean, everyone discusses it in real life with their own friends and family. Lots of us have rifts in the family and feuds, and we're bitterly angry. And then somehow or other, as the years go by, we get over it, and then we think, God, what were we ever bad friends over? I love you. You're my family. Couldn't that happen in the royal family?
But he spoke to the world, not to the family. He spoke to the world. And decried the royal family.
But the king did see his son, didn't he?
that was a private arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as that. That was up to His Majesty.
But if the king saw Harry, and of course, obviously it was a private conversation, we don't know what they said, but we do know, don't we, that they would know, that the whole world would know that they had the meeting lasting just under an hour. Prince Harry has since said, the next year is all about my father. That was one of his comments. So if the king can open his heart, Valerie, can't you?
No, I can't.
Oh, you can't. Okay, it's
they made money out of it. He wrote a book. He non-stop lied the whole time, decried the royal family.
Have you read the book, Valerie? Have you read it?
Sorry?
Have you read the book or listened to it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, did you not feel that in that book he was more venting? I don't believe it was about making money. I think it was venting. It was giving him a chance to tell the world why he wanted to leave the UK, the problems and the pressures that the royal family were presenting him and his wife and their future together. And I think it was his way of telling his side of the story. I don't believe for a second it was about money. In fact, it was an amazing bestseller. It's always going to be the case. Anything is with the royal family, but personally, I don't believe it's the money. I think he just wanted to tell the world his side of the story.
Well, what he told the Guardian newspaper this week was it was about accountability. But I wasn't really sure what that meant. What does that mean?
There has been a lot of dirty laundry, though, hasn't there? If it was just the book, I do think it's fair enough for him to put his side across. But there's been endless documentaries and interviews, and it has been a lot. And that's hard to put back. So I think there might be a bit of human regret, creeping in now, because he probably does miss home and miss his dad and his brother, So it's a bit sad. I feel like I wish he could unpick some of that.
Let's go to Natasha, who's on the line in London. Natasha, you're looking at him with a much kinder heart. I think you're feeling compassion for him, aren't you?
Very much so, because let's not forget that he has lost his mother, and he lost his mother in the public eye when he was a small child. That's a lot for someone to take. And has he had real counselling? Have we had compassion for this man? And not only that, Camilla and the King have done they've had their dues and they've done what they've done, and the Queen forgave them. Hence, Prince Charles is king right now. So we do need to look at it from a different perspective and give him some grace and let him prove himself. And if his father wants to take him in, that's his father's and his business, to be fair. And yes, like you said, he does miss home. He ran away from it, but he does miss home, and he should be able to come back here. It's his country, just like it's our country, and he should be able to stay here, and we should welcome him with open arms. I love him. I love everything he represents.
Would you like to see Meghan and the children over as well?
They can come over. And she would have to find her medium. But Prince Harry, he's always welcome because this is his home, and he is a human being, and he's shown us that I may have a title, but I am human.
So you're feeling very strongly, Natasha, that he's missing home. That when he left, he thought, right, that's the end of it, wash my hands of it. But the years go by and feelings, we are, as you quite rightly say, we're all human, and you can feel so angry and then wonder what it was that you were so angry about. Natasha, lovely call. Thank you so much. Let's talk to Mary in Leicestershire. How do you feel about this, Mary? Thanks for ringing.
Hi. I'm just surprised at the last speaker. He said, when you asked her, can Meghan and the children come too? Yeah, they can come. Yes, they definitely can come. Harry and his family. What I really like about Harry is, he's a gutsy person. He went after the newspapers for the hacking job, and he extracted an apology from them about the way they hounded his mother.
True.
Yeah.
And his mother was actually hacked.
You're absolutely
much
right. I really, really agree with that. You know, it's very,
Yeah.
very daunting to take on.
He's got his
the
mother's
British
genes,
media.
hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mary, you're right.
100%.
It takes a lot of money, a lot of guts.
Yeah.
It really does. But I think some people perceived it very differently from you, Mary. They just thought, God, he's whinging. You know, he's always complaining. He's always moaning. And this is a man who is, you know, a multi-millionaire, a man who is incredibly privileged, a man who's married a woman that he says he adores, got 2 beautiful children. Why is he always wronged and why is he always moaning? But you don't quite see it like that, Mary.
No, I don't see it like that at all, Vanessa. I mean, William took a payout from the newspapers slyly without any of us knowing it until it was all brought out into the open. And why shouldn't he write a book about himself? Why should Paul Burrell and Angela Kelly and Giles Brandreth be writing about him and about his life?
Yeah.
Why couldn't he write about his own life and about the erroneous stories that were put out about him and the way his wife was ridiculed, and his family were, he basically had to leave the country. Why didn't his father or his brother speak out to the newspapers and say, enough is enough? Charles did it
first of all,
William
unfortunately, you don't get to tell the newspapers enough is enough. You don't get to say, don't cover this story, don't write about it anymore, even if you are the king, you really don't. And if you did say that or try to say that, imagine all the front pages saying, King tries to muzzle the media, Charles silent. You can't speak out and say, stop writing stories about Harry or about yourself, even if you are the king. But Dom, I think Mary has a point here, doesn't she, really?
Totally. And when you say you can't tell the newspapers what to write, you're 100% right there, Vanessa, but you can in your own book. And that's why I feel that this book was his chance to say, listen, don't hate me, don't hate my wife. This is the situation as far as I'm concerned. Now, without a doubt, he's going to have regrets over that because he opened his soul up. I've listened to that book. It's an incredibly good book, very long, which was good as well, and read by him. I did the audio book, and when you listen to what's going on, I mean, anybody who's ever been in celebrity, all of us, we know what it's like with the intrusion from public and paparazzis, etc. And it comes with a job. But when you're him and you're this A-lister and you're in the spotlight all the time and you've got a lovely wife now who starts to be affected by all the negative press and everything else, and a lot of the public turned against her and blamed her, and look at the tragedy with his mother, he's bringing up the kids. He said, I'm out the institution, and I really, really admire him for what he did to get away from it, start bringing his family up, and he's had time to reflect. He's going to come back now, hopefully make things well with his dad, and the family, and let things build up slowly. But I really admire Prince Harry for what
I think the interesting thing about all of this is obviously we don't really know, do we? Most of us just don't know him, but we project every single thing about ourselves onto him. And Dom sees someone he adores, and some of our callers can't bear the very thought of him coming back, but we don't really know him, do we? We feel as if we do. It's really strange. Let's go to Veronica in Bedfordshire. Hello, Veronica. What do you think?
So I think he should come back. I agree. The economy is very bad, and just think of him coming back. The economy would pick up. A lot of people would love him, regardless of what happened. Everybody make mistakes in life, and we have to learn by our mistake. Mm-hmm. And I think he will learn, and I'm sure he's not going to have sleepless nights if he come back here, because everybody will be looking out for him.
I like the idea that you think that Prince Harry would give the economy what it really, really needs. I wonder if that's the case, we need Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer on bended knee begging him to come back, don't we, to give the economy a boost. So when you say the economy, do you mean that more tourists would come to see him? Is that what you mean? How would he?
Of course, because he's coming back, and because it's not everyone is against him. So the few that is against him, they will just have to sit back and watch him strive again, and see how much the people in England love him. This is his home. This is where he born and bred, and he should have all the right to come back here.
Excellent call. I mean, I'm quite surprised actually by the real positivity which is flowing, Nicola, towards Prince Harry from most of our callers, not all, but most today, aren't they?
And I do think quite right. And I think that the mistakes he's made, if you call them mistakes, has come from a place of hurt and anger, still from his mum. Still from what happened to his mother, and you say about being a celebrity and what that brings. But, being, yes, he shouldn't whinge about them writing about him, but being phone hacked, it's totally, absolutely,
it is.
A abhorrent, and he was totally right to hold them accountable, and accountable is what he's done.
Let's talk to Kevin in West Yorkshire. Kevin, how are you feeling? A bit harsher than some of our callers, I think.
I am, because basically I don't see why we should pay for Prince Harry to come back to this country.
Why would we pay?
Well, basically, because our country is a small country as it is. And basically, I don't see why we should have people like him and his wife and his family and everyone else back in this country.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, how would it cost you any money? How would Kevin in West Yorkshire have to pay for Prince Harry to come back here? You're not going to buy his ticket, you're not going to pay for his lunch or his taxi from the airport? What do you mean?
We pay through our taxes for him.
Only if he comes back and then becomes a working royal again, which is another giant step, isn't it? Which no one has really suggested he become. Just coming here or just visiting here more often is really what we're talking about. And if he did, I don't think you would have to stump up to pay for it.
Well, I don't see why we should have to suffer. I mean, we've suffered enough in this country. We suffered when his mum died. I mean, basically, I don't see why Charles should have been king either.
Oh, I see. Well, if you're just anti all royal families or having a monarchy at all, then that's perfectly you're entitled to the point of view. But it's going to mean you're opposed to any royal member of the royal family going anywhere or doing anything, isn't it, Kevin? So thanks so much for the call.
I mean, basically, William should have been king and Kate should have been queen, because I don't like Camilla. I never have done.
It's a shame they didn't ask you. If they'd written to you to ask you or come over to your house, and you could have told them exactly what to do. It's a shame they didn't factor you in with that decision, but thank you very much indeed. Let's talk to Fally, who's on the line in Essex. Hi, Fally.
Hi.
What do you think?
I mean, I really like Harry a lot. I mean, I've always felt so, my heart has always gone out to him, and since I saw him walk behind his mum's coffin at the funeral, I just cried the whole time. I felt so sorry for him, and I've always have since that day, because I think it affected him worse than William. I do. I mean, I think it's been quite apparent.
Well, he was so young. He was the little one.
He was so young, very young. How do you cope with that situation? And in such a public way. And I think I just think he's a really genuinely nice person. I mean, let's face it, he's just been to Ukraine. Didn't have to go.
True.
You know, it probably wasn't very safe for him out there either. The fact that he put his life on the line for this country. He was a soldier. He went to Afghanistan. And all respect to all servicemen. So why not respect to Harry? You know, I mean, I'd be really, really happy if he came back. As I say, I think he's a good family man. I mean, Meghan, I don't know Meghan. There are a lot of people who have their views about Meghan. Don't know her. You know, feel I know Harry a lot better. And I know that he was concerned about her safety. And I think that's why he left, and concerned about his children as well. And I can understand that as well. So for me, I'd like him to come back.
I feel as if we ought to send the clip of this show to him in Montecito. It'll really cheer him up no end, because the callers have been largely, just like Fally, great fans and very warm and supportive and incredibly understanding, also forgiving. Not everybody, but certainly the majority today, no question.